Hello and welcome to the Indie Slate Show. You probably know his face well, with more than 150 TV and film credits and lead character and cameo roles, including the hit film Major League and TV series L.A. Law and currently Psych. He's been on the receiving end of a camera lens for over 25 years. What you may not know is that behind the scenes, Corbin Bernsen's a seriously indie producer, writer, and director. Indie Slate interviewed him in issue 59 and caught up with him on the set of 25 Hill. We're here with Corbin Bernsen here in Taft, California, on the set of 25 Hill. There you go. Tell us a little bit about the movie and how it came about and about shooting Indy.
Well, Indy's my world, so how did I come to Indy? I was actually sitting in the shower the other day and I was trying to think, is this a brutal reality that I'm not big in the big leagues, so I work in the indie leagues, you know? I mean, if somebody's paying me $20 million to make big movies, you know, maybe that'd be it, but that's not where I am. It's not really where my heart is, though, anyway. There's a spirit about independent filmmaking that's cool. There's a community, and I know you get that in big movies, but you know, you have to come out and see what we're doing, and it really gets to be about the community of filmmaking. Ups and downs, and you create this kind of family, and you go to these special kind of places, and it's a different way of doing it. I get my yayas out acting in big movies or TV series, so that gets done. But when I come to making movies, I like real indie, seriously indie, not even the sort of $30 million nouveau Sundance indie. 25 Hill, I read about the Soapbox Derby being in trouble, and I wanted to do something to help them. This is a sort of a national tradition at 75 years old, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something because they were about to go bust, basically, and I said to the guys at the Derby, why don't I write a film, a little independent film, well, you know, get people to see it, and maybe I'll direct some of the money back toward you if we can make some money, and more important, we'll give you some attention. And they said, great, would you really do this? I said, yes. So I did it, raised a bit of money in Akron, Ohio, where we shot most of the movie. Wrote this script called 25, well, I wrote a script, and when I was telling my mom about it, she said, and my mom's from Taft, California, she's from here, and she said, oh, all the boys used to race the derby cars on 25 Hill. So I said, that's it, I like that, it's an indie name, 25 Hill, I like it. It kind of has this reference of like, 25 Hill, it's like, you know, Hamburger Hill or something. Yeah. It's got a little bit of Iwo Jima to it. So it was a great name, and it also made me say, good, I want to shoot. I want this kid in this movie to be from Taft, California. I spent a lot of my youth here in the summers and some of the different holidays with my grandparents just up at the hill here, right at the base of 25 Hill, actually. And so it's a cool thing for me to come back here and do that.
And you got your family here?
I do. I have tomorrow my whole family will be here. My youngest son, Finley's up here. It's his birthday. My wife just came up. Oliver, my son, my oldest son, who's 21, is the production designer on the movie. He's a great, great, great artist, and I wanted, you know, he wants to make films. He wants to direct and write, and he's got some seriously cool stuff he wants to do. Do
you work with a regular crew of people or a core group of people?
No, my crew changes. Also centers around the DP. I've worked with a couple of different DPs, and I have a couple guys that I really like, depending on the different project. But I've gotten very lucky that they're wonderful DPs. It sort of all goes out from there. I'd say, you know, 60% of the crews come from the area that we're in now. In the case of this, we shot most of this movie in Ohio, so we brought, actually, which is totally un-indie, brought the entire crew out here. We flew everybody out here, and I said, I want this crew to finish the movie with me all the way through, so most of our crew is here.
How long is the shoot? I mean, shooting days.
Our shoot is really weird. It's you know, it's actually going to end up being like 31 or 32 days, which is quite a bit, you know, for an indie film. But we did about 15 days, 16 days there in Ohio. doing 7 days here, and we have another 9 days back in Ohio during the Derby. It's a 30-day shoot. That's like a movie.
How many films have you directed so far?
This is my 5th film. The first one was a movie called Carpool Guy, which I wrote the story for. And it was my, it was okay. It was a cute little comedy with a bunch of soap opera stars, and I thought it was a good idea. I'm always trying to find ways to market the film well before I even put a pen to paper. And I thought nobody had ever put a bunch of soap opera stars in one movie together. And we did it, and it turned out to be an okay movie. I learned a lot. And then I did a movie called Donna on Demand, which is something I'd always wanted to do, sort of a look back at my character from L.A. Law, sort of a reimagining of my character from L.A. Law. Probably a little too personal. I went sort of against one of my golden rules, which is, don't think what is interesting to you is interesting to everybody else. When I was in college, I got my master's degree in playwriting, and virtually everybody wrote a play that was, wait, isn't that about you? Isn't that you? Isn't that your story? Rather than, and they can be, but they have to be universal stories also, very specific. So that movie was a little too personal to me, but, it was sort of a continuation of my film school, directing. And then I did a movie after that called Dead Air, which is a horror movie that was brought to me while we were doing Donna on Demand. We had these incredible sets that my brother, who's a carpenter, and I built. And I thought, this is incredible. These are great sets. We have to make another movie here. Yeah. So my producer brought me another
a la Roger Corman. It's reused the sets.
We reused the sets, and it looked really good. And then so we did this movie called Dead Air. And then after we did that, I went up to a little town in Canada and shot a movie called Rust, which is really the best work I had done. And that movie is now being distributed by Sony. It comes out October 5th.
Saw it, loved it.
Good, thank you. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool little movie. And then this is yet another step up. This is a budget that's a little higher. This is $500,000. So wow,
and
it's almost double for us. So.
And what's next?
Next is I'm writing a movie now called Higher Beings, which I see sort of as the end of a trilogy of 3 films that are sort of family, faith-based movies about an exploration that started with me after my dad died about, what does it all mean? Where are we? What do we believe in? What are our belief systems? It's about a kid who's turning 13 who sort of says, okay, Santa Claus ain't real, and Tooth Fairy's not real, and the Easter Bunny's not real. What about God? Yeah. He's sort of questioning all that stuff. So he has to. There's a guy, and it'll be one of the guys in Rust. Actually, this guy who played the mentally challenged guy is this drifter that shows up in this little town, and says he came from a meteor that exploded in the sky, and this young kid sort of believes him. And his father, who I'll play, who's a hockey coach, is stay away from this guy. He's dangerous. Mm-hmm. And it's all about, like, what can he believe in, what can't he believe in? What should he base his beliefs on? It's really about that. It's really about a young man who ultimately will find that he does have a belief in God and has a faith and the story of Christ and all those kinds of things. But he comes to it not because he's been told to by going to church. He does it through his own experience. He experiences God and faith, and thus, as a 13-year-old, establishes that base in his being.
Well, thanks, Corbin Bernsen.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate it. To learn more about Indie Slate Film and Video, go to indieslate.com or visit our Facebook page or find us at your local bookstore newsstand.